Welcome to Enlightened AF. I'm Tricia Carr, and I am here with my dear friend. What is your name again, dude?
Yeah, Aidan Demarest.
Aidan Demarest. Wow. Aidan Demarest is here, you guys. Amazing. Well, actually, Aaron has some applause. He asked if we wanted applause, but I'm going to say, if you listen to these applause, we're not using them regularly, though.
I just want hysterical, laughter.
So it sounds like
just one lady.
What's
just
going on in your
nuts.
head? It matches your head. We are here to enlighten you and also to fuck you. No.
Wow.
So this podcast,
Damn it.
I used one. We only have 3 S's and 1 F. Well, generally, it's just like when you used to have one drink. When you used to have one drink.
Yeah, we're just going to have one.
Just have one
we're
cheeky.
Just real quick going to nip in and get one fuck.
Yeah, that's two.
That's what happened with drinking too.
So if you're new to our show, we would like to welcome you. We love to talk about spirituality. We love to talk about current topics. And we love to poke fun a little bit at the ego and one another, I would say. Don't you think?
I agree.
We like to look at a lot of different perspectives to the spiritual path and just the path of being a decent person.
Right. And I like
Is that a tall order?
Yeah, no, that is a path of being a decent person, right? And also maybe a little serenity.
Serenity.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Some peace, some clarity, compassion.
Yeah.
So we are taking phone calls. If you're watching us live, 323-524-2599. You like taking the calls.
I loved that.
You didn't know if you were going to like the calls. When we were talking about, we were planning for this show, and you were like, I'm just going to be mean to the callers. I'm like, you're not going to be mean to the callers. And then he's all about it now, people calling in to talk to him. So my name is Tricia Carr. I am an intuitive. I also by trade and background, I'm a spirit expert. I'm a mixologist, and now I'm a different kind of spirits expert as well, which is weird. I'm an intuitive medium. I work with animals as an animal telepath. And I have a website which is TrishaCarrCharm.com. I'm a spiritual teacher. Right now I'm teaching an animal communication program, almost toward the end of it. I teach people how to develop their spiritual, intuitive, psychic abilities and do healing and stuff like that. All of the super duper woo-woo stuff. And that's kind of basis for, I guess, the inspiration for this podcast. We like to talk about that, but we like to keep it for the real, though. Because I think there's also a big part, or maybe my aspect, my role in that is that it's like breaking it down in layman's terms. Yeah, exactly. And I think, honestly, I love to do that too. I need things to be linear. I'm always asking why, and I have a husband who says why, and what does that feel like when I'm all up in the fields about what does that look like, he says, when I'm talking about how something feels like, a Pleiadian message coming through, benevolent star beings channeling some information about the composition of the human heart. Yeah, and he's like, but what does that look like? And I'm like, man. And now I have to define it. So I think that's what makes me passionate about teaching too, because I like to, as above, so below. If it's too complex, if it's too esoteric, then it ain't real. Because this universe is composed of us, or we're composed of the universe, so it should make sense to us.
Good point.
Yeah.
Right? And if you can't describe it,
then you're the church.
Then, right. And then if you can't describe it, then are you even understanding it?
Right.
And that's what I felt like when I first started to get interested talking to you and meeting with people, doing trying to consider Reiki and all kinds of alternative sort of metaphysics, which I believed in but was a cynic at heart. You know what I mean? Or saw some validity to. But I also, then you just want to take that. First of all, you want to go out and share that with people you love.
Yes.
And you're trying to share that idea. Or I just had this amazing experience through meditation, through working with a healer or working with somebody. And if you can't describe it, it's not that it doesn't exist, but if a tree falls in the woods, that sort of metaphor,
see, I got to tell you, that metaphor never makes sense to me, because if a tree falls in the forest and there's no one there to hear it,
did it really fall?
Did it make a sound? Is the question.
Okay,
and I'm like, how is there no one there to hear it? There are other trees because it's a forest. The other trees heard it.
Oh, there you go.
And there are friggity frogs, and there are buggy wuggies, and
all that
so
stuff.
I'm like, this is not a solid metaphor, and it is so common. But that's my perspective. I'm always like,
it's an old metaphor too, though, right?
It's so old,
but it's before recording and cameras and everything.
So they thought that frogs can't hear? They thought that frogs didn't have a sense of hearing?
Well, I'm kind of a firm believer that most of the world doesn't exist when I walk out of a room.
Well, that's absolutely true.
Watching The Matrix for me was not a difficult mind jump. I was just like, that's always been the way it is.
That's called megalomania.
I live the Truman Show.
That's megalomania. And
No, it's just, I mean,
No.
It was actually a sad realization. I was probably 4 or 5 when I realized you guys are all just characters in my play.
Exactly. Now there is a
and that I didn't have more, and I had created it all.
But what's interesting,
there you go,
is
make
that,
that jump.
But that it's true. There is a truth to it because we do create our own reality, and everything is a projection of our own frequency. At the same time, there is a disorder called megalomania, where a person, you've never heard this, literally believes that, thinks like, I create you. Now you no longer exist.
I did hear that one time, and I eliminated that person from my roster. Fuck them. I heard that one.
They were not validating
and then
my
I made
experience.
them disappear. I no longer walked into the room they were in.
We actually do have a caller already. Would you like to?
What?
Oh, you're so excited.
Oh, we didn't even get to all my topics.
We're going to get to him.
Damn it. Well, maybe she'll bring up positions.
How do you know it's a she?
He, she. Who is it?
Who is it? Let's see. Let's bring you on. Hi, you're on the air. Who's this?
Hello, this is Kitsy.
Oh, well, hello, Kitsy.
Hi, Kitsy.
This is Trisha, and I have Aidan on with me. Kitsy, you're in the Lightworkers Lab with me, aren't you?
You know, I want to be, but I have not been able to join yet.
Oh, okay, then. That's fine.
But I follow you closely.
Is there more than one Kitsy?
Oh, well, I think maybe I recognize you from my Facebook group or something like that then, right? That's how come I know you.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you so much for calling. What's on your mind today?
Oh, I was just wondering if I guess I'm asking for maybe a reading. I've been kind of feeling my mother around me, and just wondering if you can tell anything.
Mm-hmm. Okay. 3 to 4 years ago? What's 3 to 4 years ago? Is that when she passed?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, she's very close to you. Right there over your
2014.
left. Okay, right there over your left shoulder, and she says 3 to 4 years ago. Right there over your left shoulder, she stands almost to the side of you. You two were like best friends, she shows me, right? Like you were BFFs, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and so she's still right there next to you. Like she shows me linking arms with you, that she still whispers in your ears and giggles. Y'all used to giggle together so much. And but she's right there with you as a counselor. Now, the thing is, just know that when you feel her in your heart, see, here's what you can do. The way that you used to call her up and ask her for advice or guidance or, opinion or a laugh, just close your eyes, take a really nice deep breath, and then feel into your heart. If it's a yes or no, you'll be able to feel it. That's her talking to you. That's how she exists now. She already was that way. It's just we took away the physical form. So that's how she is with you. But she's so close. Is there an L? Who's the L name? Is it her name or someone else's, either at the beginning or in the middle? A significant L.
Her name was Lee.
Pardon? Say that.
Her name was Lee.
Her name was Lee. Okay, there. And there we are.
That would be that L.
That's an L. That's a very significant L.
Right.
It's only one of the 2 letters that are in the name.
That's it. You don't have to blow out a candle now. I believe you. I'm totally on board.
Lee. Okay. And
although if you could.
She's named after someone, and she's named after one of her ancestors, though. Is it a male or a female?
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Who is that? Who's that? Her dad or her?
Her real name is Leo. Her real name, her first name actually was Leotis. It's Leotis.
Uh-huh.
And she was the 4th girl born to a farmer, and he really needed a boy to help with the farm.
Okay.
And he was so disappointed that she was a girl, he wouldn't even go in the room to see her. And so her mother named her after him. His name was Otis Lee. So her mother named her Leotis to try to get him to like her.
Okay, so her middle name is actually her dad's first name, right? Technically speaking.
Right.
Okay, so listen to this, Kitsy, and she is cracking up. She's like, this is why you like this girl, honey. My middle name is Aaron, Aaron, like our engineer, actually, our producer. His name is Aaron as well. Aaron is my middle name because it's my father's first name, because I was the 4th girl, and they really wanted a boy. Are you, what?
Oh, you're kidding.
Your mom is cracking up. She's like, I told you to call. We had something funny to do together. I'll show you my ID. My middle name is my dad's first name.
Wow. Right? But was that a consolation prize for him to get that middle name?
Exactly.
Like, he's like, you're missing a penis out of that scenario.
You're kind of missing, you're
That's
missing
really
the whole package.
amazing
Oh,
that she
honey,
told you that.
That's
and
wonderful.
it's funny that you said she continues to counsel me, because I'm from Texas, and
I'm from Texas
she served
too.
as a counselor to people in her church.
I'm from Texas too. Did you know that, Kitsy? Okay.
Yeah,
There we go.
I did. I'm
Wow.
sorry, I just took
And
a
so
drink and choked.
Okay, so she was a
yes,
counselor
I
at her
did.
church.
So I relate to you that way, too, because I was brought up in the church, too, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And
so,
my son is getting into all this stuff now, and so he's introducing me to it, and so
Oh, tell me
I'm
about
learning.
that. Your son's getting into what? Into psychic and sort of spirit guides and all that kind of stuff?
yeah.
That's
Yeah,
interesting.
he feels he's an intuitive,
mm-hmm.
and my mother was an empath.
Oh.
She could sit, and she said, I was a dancer, and she said I could sit in that studio and know which girls were being molested, which were being mistreated, which, who had what problems. But my father
Kind of a
thought it was
double-edged
evil
sword, huh?
and of the devil, and so he made her stop.
Oh.
But she saw spirits and saw this suicide was after my dad, and she faced him down one night, and so she had all those kinds of experiences.
Wow.
Well, Kitsy, thanks so much. This was awesome.
So-
it was really cool to hear that story.
Thank you, darling. Well, blessings to you and your mama Lee, and let's talk some more in my group or something, or call in another time. But she's right there with you, and you have her in your heart. Nothing has changed. Nothing is changed except that she holds your arm in spirit, but you feel her exactly the same as you always did, honey. You can call her up anytime.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for calling.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. How do I join your Facebook group other
go-
than just following you?
Well, Facebook.com/Tricia Carr Charm is my regular business page. But the group, you go to Facebook.com/groups/CharmedLifeLove. And we actually, this show has its own Facebook group now. Aidan, did you know that?
Yes.
Yeah, so Facebook.com/groups/Enlightened AF Pod. That's how you can join our group. So go join it, and then we'll be all linked up together, honey. Thank you so much. Blessings to you.
Thanks so much. It was great to talk to you.
You too.
Okay,
That
bye-bye.
was a great story.
That was good stuff.
Yeah,
How
I couldn't
wild
even punch
is that?
holes in that one. It was so good.
You're trying so hard.
I was like, wait, what? I want to hear that. Wait, Aaron's got another caller.
You want to do it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's get in there.
All right, you want to do a reading this time?
No. But I want to hear what they've got to say.
All right, cool. Hi, you're on the air. Who's this? And hello, you're on the air. Who's this? It always takes a second to hitch.
Bonjour.
There we go.
Hello?
Hi. Who's this? We can hear you now.
This is Dory.
Hi, Dory. How are you? Did we talk to
Hi,
you?
how are you?
Honey, did I talk to you last week on
I'm doing great.
Charmed Life or on this show? I feel like I talked to you recently.
You have. I am on the lab.
Okay. But I do a reading for you in the lab or something like that? We just connected recently, I can feel. I'm remembering your
This
name.
is what
Yes.
it's going to be like to deal with
A
a psychic
while
all the time.
ago. Dory Madison, yes.
Aidan said, this is what it's like to be with a psychic all the time.
She's like, I think I've met you. No, you just know everyone in the universe, remember?
It's awesome.
There's no one new.
So, pardon?
He says there's no one new, so
So she's
meaning in general.
There's
every
no
Because,
single
one
we could
new.
go through the phone book.
You're
and
just
she's,
so popular.
yeah, as we're working in
We love
spirit,
you.
we're working in spirit, then yeah, we're all connected. Well, what's going on with you today, Dory?
Hi, Dory.
Exactly. So, well, I'm a medium, and because I've learned this, through your Lightworkers Lab, and I'm just in a funk, a really big funk. I went with Stephanie to the Lilydale, and out of the 250 people that were sitting there, I got a reading from my grandma and my grandfather, and I connect with them, but for some reason I'm just in this major funk, and I've been taking classes and stuff, but I just haven't been digging in, and I'm just trying to figure out what's really going on, where I can get out and how I can get out of this funk that I'm in, and because when I'm connected, I just feel. I'm getting tingles. I just
there you
feel
go.
more alive.
Honey,
I was going to say that, and I'm not.
Go ahead,
but I was
please.
going to say the word connected.
yeah, it's
That's
connecting with
absolute.
yourself, honey. I think what I'm picking up, and I get your grandfather, and it's the grandfather on your father's side. Is that the one that you connected with at the Lilydale experience?
It was actually on my mom's side. It was my mom's mom and my great-grandfather, her father.
I got your dad's side.
And they were basically telling me that I'm a lot like them, and I was just pretty much trying to get, how am I a lot like them?
All right. So what we want to do is just cultivate that self-love, honey. And I feel like there's some comparing yourself to other people's experiences, and there's absolutely no way that we can do that. There's no comparison.
Okay.
Getting into just your meditation time just for the sake of swimming in your own essence. Aidan, you can speak to that. You have a strong meditation practice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love, and if for some reason when you were talking about having gone to a seminar or something about being a medium, that is, for me, is whenever I'm trying to advance or learn more, and even with meditation, you always end up, there's a moment where you walk away going like, I'm not getting as much as other people.
Oh, right.
You know, a little less than feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And that comes with a lack of connectivity for me.
Yeah.
And so I'm feeling a little less than. And then I have to come back to my connected space, you know, whatever that is. For me, meditation requires I have for me, a wonderland place that I go to. And I can turn on that, you know, for lack of a better word. I can really turn on that connected feeling because I've thought, this guy's got this going on. Or you know, and that can be in the most transcendent space. I can be somewhere at a meditation center in a beautiful garden, and then I feel like, I'm not nailing this. Competitive about being connected, serene,
Which
trying
is interesting,
to
is what we actually kind of along the topic we brought.
And what I've lost
today.
in that moment is my spirit. I've lost all those angels. They're no longer there because I'm on the ground looking around for.
Because the way that you access it is through the portal of you as a creator, as pure essence. And so then when we're looking at other people's experience, even if we're admiring it, that's actually recognizing separation. You know what I mean? Like, that person is an individual. I think they're awesome and I love them and they're different and I'm not like them. You see, it's self-rejection, and it's also just it is actually the recognition and is the activation of a frequency of separation. So throw away all of the expectations about where you should or whatever be, and just go and spend time with you and fall deeply and passionately and affectionately in love with yourself, and just swim in your own essence. With the expectation of no outcome, just for the sake of loving Dory. And that's where we want to be.
I heard something really great through meditation. I mean, within a meditation conversation, somebody said, you know, like for me, coming up with what I think not only my most inner self, but what my sort of angel spirit guides would laugh at. You know, in other words, ride my bike with my feet up on the handlebars down the street. And it doesn't mean you have to act like an idiot, but like those little minutes of self-care and freedom is how I could get back to a really centered space for some really heavy sort of meditation and getting up out into where I think we all want to be, which is, you know, super high. You want to be up in here all the time and blissed out. And maybe this isn't the time for you to be that either. Like, maybe right now it's a good time
to be grounded or something.
Yeah, and also, is it always, you know, Zen bliss? No, it's like there might be a little discomfort going on. And that's okay.
And we need to love that discomfort, love ourselves through the discomfort.
That's really the point I'm getting. Like, right, loving that feeling.
Yeah.
Well, I actually just went on vacation to Las Vegas. I've never been there with my girlfriends. And so I was like, you know what, maybe I just need a break for a while.
Definitely.
And I just came back, and my daughter's in town, and she's visiting, and I said the same thing to myself, you know, like what you just said. Maybe I just need just a little break just to enjoy my family and everything, and I'll get back into it. And I did a little bit of meditation this morning, and I just feel like there's just so much running through my brain when I try to meditate that I'm almost a little blocked in that area as well. So and I tried putting a little bit of some, Palo Santo on, light a little bit of Palo Santo, try to get a little bit of, something that smelled really good that would draw me in. And I just kept getting all of this, my mind kept going, my mind kept going.
That's
and
okay.
I could not really get into a meditation. So what would you suggest that I do in order to start getting back into my meditation? Like I said, I feel like I'm in this funk, like there's this wall there.
Well, what's really good, what meditation actually is self-hypnosis, and the way that a hypnotist helps to induce, the way a hypnotist offers the I guess the doorway into that hypnotic state is to help the person to focus. And that's actually what meditation really kind of just means, focus. So visualization is an excellent way to draw yourself into a trance or meditation to bypass the conscious mind. And so Aidan says he has his wonderland. And I visualize as I'm going into my meditation, rooting, bringing light into my energy body. And it's two things. It is what's happening to the conscious mind is it's starting to stand down because you're giving it a visualization and you're ceasing its control over you. But it's also an energy healing because I'm literally bringing light into my energy body. That's happening on the energy plane. And so it's two things that's happening. But it actually does. And also just give yourself grace. If you sit down for 10 minutes, 15 minutes with meditative music or a guided track or just breathing, and that mind is going, it still counts because still the act of doing it. And if you had 3 seconds where the mind quieted down, the whole 15 minutes or whatever time you did counted. It's just like I literally just said it today when I was teaching. It's like going to the gym and saying, oh my gosh, every time I pick up the weights, they hurt. I must not be good at weightlifting. No, it hurts and you're not strong and you can't see the muscle definition yet, and that's okay, but that's the process. So
that was really important for me to learn when I first started doing it, because when I first started listening to guided meditation and then being a part and listening to some cleanses and all that kind of stuff, I didn't get that sort of buzz, that sort of hypnotic, like I didn't get that astral position going on, and I think we're all chasing that buzz a little bit, and I speak for myself. So you're chasing that buzz a little bit, and that is not the end result. Because then I did notice later on in the day, I would respond to real life coming at me as though I had meditated, even though I didn't get that rush earlier. Right. And it might have,
it still counts.
It had sunk in.
Yeah, it still counted because it's the intention.
And I believe that meant that during those times, like, and I've gotten up very frustrated. Like, man, I'm so fucked up in my head that I can't even relax for 10 minutes alone in a room with a candle lit.
Right.
Self-rejection.
And then you beat yourself up.
You just hit it right on the spot.
Oh, he's good at that.
Hit it right on the spot. I was even thinking maybe even going for a walk and just looking at nature.
I was just going to say,
that's
cut it in
also a form
half.
of meditation, correct? I mean, it's not like just sitting there with your legs crossed and you're, and
you know what else helps?
Oming
on that walk,
if
you're walking, I do it, and then at a certain point, when I finally hit a zone and I'm like, okay, at least I'm calmed down a little bit, or that person's conversation's out of my head, then I just find anything, a flower, a bird, anything, and focus on the detail of that object. Almost like candle staring, which I also recommend.
Yes.
Love it, but that's intense when you're in a shitty mood. Sitting and staring at a candle, you can't make that jump. Yeah. I need that hard walk or a light walk, and then focusing on something. And it may not be beautiful. It may not be blooming roses on my walk, but something that, like a pine cone, and the detail and like the miracle of that. And I can get that for a
I'm
second.
looking at a pine tree right now.
Aidan's a reader and he doesn't know it
yet. Don't do that. She's already outed me as a monogamist.
That's awesome. You're great.
No, you're great.
Awesome. I'm looking at a pine tree in my backyard with pine cones on it right now.
And all that sap and the bark and everything. Get into that tree. Get out of your house and go get into that tree.
Well, Dory, thank you so much for calling, but just get into loving you, get into the beauty and the details of you, and just put it all aside right now. The chasing of it is the thing that is recognizing the lack of it. So just get in. The only goal is just to be loving and swimming in your own essence, all right?
Yeah.
Right. Thank you
for calling. Thank you both so much.
Sure.
I really appreciate all of you.
Hey, have a good day.
Thank you for calling. That was really great. Look at you. You did two things there where you were reading her. I can't remember what the other one was.
I'm a total regular Joe.
Well, we were talking about, we came up a little bit in that call where we're talking about competitive nature. And it reminds, the idea of like competitive spirituality or competitive yoga, which is hilarious because people actually do get competitive with yoga, and it's hilarious.
I don't do yoga because I'm not good at it, and I won't fail in the room.
And you don't want people to see you. Yeah, you won't fail. It's like competitive prayer, though. It's a silly, silly thing because it's a spiritual practice. That
is so true. And I've never gotten it off the ground correctly. I'm not flexible. It makes me wildly like angry and whatever. Like just the emotions are big.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm never going back to that sweaty room full of like, yoga people.
Limber ladies and everything.
Yes.
Yes, I remember this one class I was in, and it used to bug me so much. And I'm really inflexible with like basically the pike position. You have your legs out in front, and then you bend all the way down and grab your toes. I'm least flexible that way. Like I'm really flexible going the other way. It's just like how I am. You're making. I'm not good at bending over.
So I heard.
And so I would be doing that, and I'm like really bad at it. But the woman who there was a woman who was always front of the class and everything, and she was really good at it, and she would like grab her toes, and she would like look around like, oh, I'm so bored because I'm too good at
Let
this.
me get my phone. Hold on a second. Can I get a drink?
But
please?
she really was like, you could feel that she was showing off. It's so funny, and I shouldn't be recognizing it. That's on me that I recognized.
You're being
it.
competitive.
I was being competitive.
You're like, that bitch up front thinks she's bringing her game up there.
Yeah.
She's like, pretzel.
It's both of us. I mean, she was doing that, and I was also being the counterpart to that competitiveness by being like, whatever, and recognizing the fact that she was being competitive.
Yes. I can relate to, what was it, Dory? Was that the girl's name? Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I can totally relate to feeling as though I am not crushing meditation, and with a K. Just crush that meditation.
KH.
Yeah. It's absolutely like and also because I also have an addictive personality, chasing. I heard the term yobriety the other day.
What the hell is that?
People who pursue sobriety from drugs and alcohol through yoga.
Okay.
And that's not a thing.
But why did they make that's called a portmanteau. Well,
it was somebody who is in.
I just said something smart, and you just pretended like.
What was it?
They made a portmanteau out of it. That's a word where you take two words and you smoosh them together like a spork.
Oh, a portmanteau? Is that French?
Yes.
Portmanteau?
Yes, but you said it.
Portmanteau?
But suddenly you looked Bostonian when you said it.
Portmanteau?
Yeah, it's French.
It's French?
Yeah.
Wow, excellent.
There's this bird named Inky. He's a African gray, and he's so smart that he actually made his own portmanteau between the first time he had ever tasted an apple, and he had had bananas before, and he had cherries or berries before, cherries before. And the first time he ever had an apple, he called it a banary, because on the inside it kind of tasted and looked like a banana to him. On the outside it looked like a cherry. And he made up a word. He made up a portmanteau.
What?
And he can actually, and he says it. You know what I mean? It's not
banary.
Banary. He called it a banary.
Is that a name of somebody? Portmanteau?
No.
Portmanteau?
No, it means like port. It means like putting two things together. It's French. But I mean, I don't know the idiosyncratic.
Again, name for a sexual position.
The portmanteau.
I've been to that party. Putting two things together that don't really belong.
So Aidan made up a sexual position, and you haven't explaed it to me. You just keep saying the word. He made up a sexual position called the astral position.
Right.
What is this?
Well, it's kind of a mind fuck.
Okay.
Don't you think? We were talking about that.
Is it a masturbation situation?
I feel like.
Okay.
Yeah, don't you? Right?
I don't know. You made it up.
No, but it occurred to me that most people within meditation are looking for that rush, like me and Dory were just talking about. You're looking for that, and not that she was necessarily masturbating while meditating, but maybe. Right?
Masturbation is very much a meditative act, honestly.
Yes, totally.
Especially
and it's
if you
the same
cannot
moment out, and about the same time frame for me. 15 to 20.
I'm quicker.
My
meditation is longer.
Hey, if I bother to get naked, I don't just go right for the gold.
That's the only. The rest of it's boring.
I got to talk myself through it.
But see, especially if you aren't using something like
faster. What is that? Just like a real quick, like waiting at the bank line?
I don't know. I'm very sensitive. I'm very responsive.
Oh, I like that.
I'm always.
So you can real quick be like, hold on, I need to put on a little more lipstick and go in and just rub one out real quick.
Only if I feel like. If only if I'm in the mood. If I'm not in the mood,
but it's possible.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I think so. I don't. Excellent. But I don't. Yeah, it's excellent.
That's so good. Guys need to. There's a little more work involved. Get it up, get off, clean up. You can't just pop in and out like that.
Well, you actually.
even a high school kid's got a solid 5-minute investment.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for the whole
5
situation.
Minutes. Sure. Well, my meditations are much longer than 5 minutes.
Yes.
Although
I can to answer. Now that we got dirty. Anyway, astral position.
Yeah, what's an astral position?
I'm taking it off my list of our topics, right?
Okay, but you haven't given us a visual of it, or
I think it's pretty clear, don't you?
No, you're saying a mind fuck.
Well,
okay.
right. So you would want to get up into the astral sort of state of your mind, right?
Okay.
So I think it has to involve obviously your ass a little bit.
Why? Just because that's sex
it's a portmanteau.
Because that's sex to you.
Yeah. Because it's a portmanteau, right? No.
So just basically,
I haven't got it down
almost
yet.
like,
Although
I got it.
I
I've got
asked
it.
Aaron to find us an image of an astral position.
I know, and I was like, "There's no way he can because you just
created
created
it. Could be one
it.
particular situation.
This is what it is. It's like lusting after that experience. Lusting after the experience of being blissed out, right?
Yes. Yeah, well, chasing the dragon.
Uh-huh.
But I really think last week when I was thinking
Jonesing
of astral
for it.
position, it's when one person is on the bed with their head hanging off of it, and the
Back?
other person
Backward?
and their
Okay.
head is back, and the other person is standing in front of them
Well,
with
I'm
their
sure-
dick in their mouth.
With their dick in their... Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay, standing in front of their face.
Right.
Okay.
And their head is down.
That doesn't feel good on the neck.
I didn't say it felt good for the person on the bed.
That's not your
You're up
concern.
here in the astral position, standing up.
Well, why does the person...
A is for astral.
Oh, so it... The person doesn't really have to be upside down either.
Yeah, they do.
Just so that there's another thing to write into the book.
So then they don't have to move their head or anything. They're just that has to be that because there
I
needs to be
feel
no
like
movement down there. That would take me out of my
It's
astral
also
plane.
it's also going to constrict like the area where you could,
You're troubleshooting a
penetrating.
position, the end of the position I don't want to be in.
you don't care. Again, it's not my
Again,
concern.
not one fuck given. If they had a coaster on their chest, it'd be helpful.
Oh,
of
no.
kombucha.
Okay, so we've talked about your astral position now.
We've done it.
We
Bucket
did it.
list
You happy?
achieved.
Okay.
Yes.
Hashtag astral position. So
can you find an image for that next week, Aaron?
he's
I
gonna-
know there's one.
There isn't. You made it up.
No, that's not a position that's made up. I've done it.
Oh, well, yeah, but it's not called the astral position, though.
It is now. And I TM'd that. Trademark.
So
Enlightened AF trademark
the
for
thing-
our position book, Transcendental
Oh,
as
no.
Fuck Position Sex Book.
Oh, no, we have a position book?
Brink.
We do,
Comes
don't
with
we?
a doll.
I don't want it to come with a doll.
You don't want
My phone is saying things. All right, so
maybe that's your husband saying, get off the air now. What's happening?
we did want to talk about, though, the commercialization of spirituality.
Speaking of book sales and all that kind of stuff.
Before
Yeah.
we get into this how these fools are doing it wrong, so we already talked about that a little bit. I do want to talk about the fact that there's nothing wrong with money. Money is not evil.
Yeah.
Money, and we
Right?
all voted on it. So we're all here. If we're going to ascend above and beyond money, we're just going to have to do it together. And so there's nothing, money is just energy, and nature seeks balance. And the way that we live here is by an exchange of energy. And we just have this system where we have energy that we've popped a symbol onto. So there's nothing wrong with it. Anything that we attach to it and the way that we pursue it or whatever, it's just, again, it's about our native frequency about it. It's how we want to feel about it.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with having a
I
lot
had
of
a
money
real-
or no money, whatever.
And I think that it's a dirty word, especially in this plateau, like whenever you get into, I mean, we both worked in a business which, and the pursuit of money was nice and on the table. And I'm a big fan of that. And then, and I work in the spirit world as well. Liquor, booze, bars, thing, and revenue and money in dollars is a very sexy word, and nobody has any bones about talking about it.
They have
Mostly.
boners about it.
Huh?
They have boners about it.
Yes.
They don't have bones about it.
And
they
I
have boners
think
about
that, and I hated that then I decided I don't like that when I head towards a sort of enlightened state of mind, suddenly I can't want more from my family, want more from, I mean, like, how do you share this? How do you get to the next level? I think that 90% of the people, of our callers and people out there are like, I mean, how much more useful can you be having succeeded in a material world? Think of how much more reach you have.
Of course.
How much more, this moment right now you don't get to do without, like money. There has to be, all of it has to be a part of it.
Right.
Here's the rub. Asking the universe, your angels, my guides. I feel weird. I might feel like I'm asking my Uncle Jerry for $20 when I'm like, can I be calm? Can my family all be healthy? Kind of thing. And can I also have like $1 billion and like so that I can provide all that?
Well, we have this conditioning, and honestly, it's amazing. We really evolve so slowly. Like the belief system, the culturalization, the conditioning that we are all growing out of still, honestly comes from the Dark Ages. And I think that, let's say the Roman
Yeah, I
Catholic
believe it,
Church
yeah.
was the worldwide religion or the most dominant one.
Yeah.
And the church, and maybe other churches as well, but this isn't me poking at one particular religion. These are just people. Who cares about it? But these people set this up to say that money is the root of all evil, and it is pious to be poor. And that martyrdom in general is very pious and very noble. But being poor, it's still, there are still monks who take vows of poverty, literally.
Yeah,
in order to be
pious.
And
don't all nuns, Catholic Church, everything.
Yeah.
It's all
They
no money.
Yeah,
which is interesting since it's such a
But just think
giant
about
company.
When the church was organizing way back in those dark ages, they needed to control millions, or not millions, maybe hundreds of thousands of people. They felt responsible. They were trying to be responsible for all these people who were ignorant and poor. And so they're like, no, you're actually, that's good that you're poor.
But then
built these
shrines. But that then built these shrines of opulence.
Oh,
and
yeah, and also keep it away
even
from them.
small village in the world had a beautiful, the best they could provide, shrine, mud hut, whatever it was. It was the best one in town, which is always the religious center.
Yeah.
Even more so than the town hall or where the king lived. The religious center, which keeps everything. So they would visit this opulence.
Yes.
And I think that's what people are doing right now with spirituality, in lieu of organized religion. We are both via online and like visiting all this beauty, but don't allow it into their day-to-day life.
Right.
It's
like you
I'm
can buy your
speaking
way
for
into
myself.
heaven.
Yeah.
You can buy your way into heaven.
So like you're like, oh, okay, but when we're talking about astral, like my whole universe is so beautiful and benevolent and kind and generous. However, I'm going to keep things real small. And I need to, because that's how I appease my God. So there's still this kind of like
control,
like alms for the gods in its spirituality. And I'm talking about myself.
Right.
Like I still come at it like, if I'm good and I'm kind and generous in spirit and to my spirits, I will get just what I deserve, as opposed to all of it.
Right.
Everything, all there is.
You just create 100%. It is 100% free will universe, and we create anything that we want. So we can be whatever version of spiritually rich and financially poor that we want to.
Well, we're on this journey together, because I am not there. Believe me, there's no I still think I deserve this much and that much. So,
but
by no means am I
no
like,
government.
I get it all, because believe me, I'm not stepping into a Corniche out of here today.
But see,
which I'm available for.
But there's
if there's one parked outside, whoever's in it, I'm down.
The major awakening that we all have to come to is to realize that there is no authority. You have to put that authority back in you. We have an absolute free will universe. So there is no one who is rewarding or punishing you except for you. You're the only one. Absolute free will. The authority needs to be put back inside of you.
I guess we just argued this whole point. Yes, like what you're saying is absolutely like you're the one doing it. I guess we just argued the point of the people that we were going to talk about, monetizing.
It depends on how you go about it, and that means for the proprietor and the consumer.
Right. So there's we were talking about this whole topic came up because I was looking at stuff and I saw Goop, and
which is Gwyneth Paltrow's website of. She calls it a lifestyle, I think, but
it's a shopping thing. It's like the airplane thing. Like when you buy the Sky Mall, it's literally like a spiritual Sky Mall. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
You just buy stuff
on a website. Yeah.
Which I know gets a lot of first of all accolades and slams for. It's obvious. There's like $575 dog crystals.
Dog crystals
collars, and we should just do that right now, because I'd probably kill it.
What, you would kill dog crystals?
No, probably sell like crazy. We couldn't.
We should sell. Yeah.
Let's just do like a home shopping network.
That's
dog
the
crystals.
Thing. Yeah, if you're going about selling or buying the $575 dog crystals in a way that is either non-integrated or, you know what I mean? Like, it's all about the energy of it.
And also, but we argued this point, and actually we just argued it before we presented it, which is interesting, because but the point is even I'm talking about the things that are on that website. Thank you, in the magic box.
The light box.
The box thing that Aaron plays
Blinkies.
with and makes pictures pop up and buy things.
Yeah.
I really have very little knowledge of that magic box. And that's only because I drank heavy and always had a little assistant next to me.
And he was literally this tall.
He really was.
Actually,
always.
Yeah.
Different
people,
more than
but
one
always
person,
about the yeah.
And they worked that thing.
Yeah.
And they still do. in keeping with that, the breakdown of all that is, if in keeping with that, there's endless abundance, there's endless amounts of things, there is no waste or gain or loss, then buying a $500 dog crystal, collar for your dog so that it's safe and its chakras are aligned on Goop is a fucking great way to spend your money.
And here's the thing. So Goop or Gwyneth or whoever came up with the $500 dog crystal could be like...
I hope there is one, because I just pulled that out of my ass.
But the proprietor could be going about it like, yeah, let's do this dumb thing, and these people are idiots. I'm going to sell this thing. They'll buy anything, like kind of a snake oil thing about it.
Would you buy that for Snickers or whatever his name is?
I have 6 cats, and none of them are named Snickers.
Snickers.
I have 6 cats and 5 birds.
Boots.
Nobody is Snickers or Boots.
Boots.
I could.
Scooter.
There are 10 people.
Bandit.
At least 10 people listening right now who know the names of all of my cats.
Bandit.
And you know 0 of them.
No.
And they've never been to my home. All right. No, listen. So the proprietor
Pirate.
could be snake oil selling. And then the purchaser, the consumer could be redeeming it because it's all about their intention and how they want to receive it. And how, you see what I mean? That's the placebo effect, honestly. That's why the placebo effect works.
Yeah, totally. I don't think that this, and having just briefly sort of dug around into the magic box and looked at what's available, both in entertainment and in, first of all, I listen to guided meditations. I listen to a lot of different speakers.
Do you want some of mine? I produce them.
I do, right?
Yeah. Do you want me to give you some MP3 downloads of mine?
Would you, please?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Brian
Thanks
does the sound design.
I had to come all the way on this fucking show just to get something.
Well, or you could go to my YouTube channel and you would see that it was
on
there.
the magic box again.
Okay,
Call
go
my
ahead.
kid tomorrow and ask him to get it on there. If he pulls it up, I can push the button and make it play. The circle. I mean the
circle.
The triangle.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Dink, I can make that happen.
The lifty thing, the pushy down thing.
It's a lot of work. Plus, then you get popped into other things.
All right.
I'm too ADD for the computer.
Well, we're almost out of time. Were you sharing a last point there? What were you saying?
Was I wrapping that up?
You were saying something about meditation. You do meditation.
Oh, no, yeah. I was just saying that I don't think there's any snake oil salesman. And in keeping with that, we argued that point. I mean, because I brought that up initially, like, they're probably all in there just coming up with ridiculous, wind chimes and, ideas. And I don't think anybody is maliciously on any of those things. Like
Goop or something where they're selling things?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, probably not. Yeah.
Right. They believe in it, and there is enough to pay for those things.
Right. They're not manipulating people into buying it. They just put up a website.
Right. Yeah. There's
right.
no church rolling into town.
Yes, exactly.
It's just going to turn everybody. And it would be great if Gwyneth did that, though. Took it on the road.
I think she is more sincere than that.
She needs to definitely do just a tour.
I'm going on the road next week.
Can we do it in a tent and do like a tent revival situation?
I'm going into a retreat next week, and I'm presenting at it at the Bliss Retreat with the Lightworkers Lab that's founded by my friend Crystalline Compton, and it's actually we're doing it. It's at this place called the Sunrise Ranch in Loveland, Colorado. And if you go and look up the Sunrise Ranch, there's all these criticisms of people saying like they're cultish and everything, but it's actually like a church that's associated with it or something. So it's pretty funny.
That's awesome. But what I'm thinking is there should be like a revival tent.
Yeah, no, Crystal is also from evangelical Christianity with the spiritual gifts and the charismatic church. You've never been to one of these charismatic churches, probably.
No. You mean the snakes and everything?
Well, I never went to a snakes one, but there was speaking in tongues and prophesying and all that kind of thing.
Really?
Yeah,
and
but I feel
prophesying meaning like psychic predictions,
basically.
Sort of thing?
Well, no, not predictions. More like giving a message, like teaching.
And somebody speaking through the Lord kind of thing?
The Lord is speaking through them. Yeah. So the way it works in those charismatic churches.
Awesome. I would have gone to church for once if that was the show every weekend.
Yeah, they speak in tongues and then someone else interprets the message into English.
Oh, in tongues up on stage? I mean,
or just from the congregation. They would be in the congregation. They'd be like,
hell yeah.
I'm not good at it anymore.
I
don't
want
know how to
all
do
that in church. Mine was just like up and down, your grandmother pinching your arm.
And they're wondering why you turned gay.
And a wafer. Yeah, exactly. I never even got felt up by a priest. There was 0 in it for me.
You were
0.
You were a late bloomer.
There was wine. And I'll show up to any party with free wine. But the workout wasn't worth it.
All right. Well, we are actually out of time now. This was I think this was a fantastic episode.
I'm not mad at it.
We did some really good work.
I think so too. I'm telling you, I love the callers, and it was my least favorite part of the show.
In
format,
your assumption.
Remember? Yeah.
In your assumption.
In
right.
my assumption, right?
The callers were amazing. And so we will be up again. Actually, next week we have a special broadcast time. We're normally going to be Wednesdays at 4 p.m. Pacific, when you can join us live on our Facebook profiles, as well as Universal Broadcasting Network Channel 1, ubnradio.com/channel-1. On Facebook, I have my profile, which is facebook.com.
Can you explain what a hyphen is?
It's a line.
Thank you. You expect
Everybody
everybody to
knows
just
what a
have that up
hyphen
their
is.
sleeve. No, you
Yes.
just rattled all those super
Aaron,
detailed terms
everybody
down.
knows what a hyphen is,
do?
right?
That's
Yeah.
not like an insider term?
No, that's literacy. All right. But you can find us by looking for our handle on Instagram or Facebook, Enlightened AF Pod. That's how you can keep in touch with us. Follow us. We'll be doing all kinds of crazy things on our social media.
Yeah.
And then also
I think we want to hear about what we should talk about next week.
do that.
Do that. Or throw me a position, because there's a position of the week that's happening.
Apparently, that's the position corner.
I want to hear from you.
And follow us, subscribe to us on iTunes at Enlightened AF Podcast. That's how you're going to be able to find us. I'm Tricia, and this is Aidan Demarest. I'm Tricia Carr, Aidan Demarest. We'll see you next week on Enlightened AF. Have a great day.
Namaste.